power of contouring is wild. I'm going to do a bit of an unrealistic makeup look now on myself and on one side of my face so that you can really compare both sides. This is a Artist Sculpt powder from Makeup Forever. The shade is Strong Ebony. This is a brush that's coming soon from Spectrum and I. It's a little small angled definer. I've already done a little bit of this around my lip, and I'm going to make this pretty much all about powder. And I'm going to shade my face with this powder on one half so that you can see the difference. I have already done that half of my mouth, so I'm kind of trying to pretend that this is natural. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this, and I'm going to just go on the tip of my nose. You can already see that's like narrowing off my nose. It's making my nose look more pointy. I'm going to go down the side of my nose from the top of the brow. I should be using a smaller brush for this. So I'm going to take an eyeshadow brush. I'm going to intensify that natural shadow that I have here, connect it to my eyebrow, and bring it down. I don't know that I'm going to like the way this looks, but I'm really just simply trying to show you like technique and being very delicate about my pressure, not overly blending it. I have a foundation brush that's got a little bit of concealer and foundation in it from a few moments ago when I just topped up my concealer and complexion. And then I'm going to use a little bit of this taupe colour under the eye to make the eye look bigger. Yes, doesn't make the eye look smaller, even though it's contouring. It's making the eye look bigger because it's making the whites of the eyes brighter. Okay. And I'm going to do the same under here and just intensify up there. Keeping my eyes open, always looking straight into a mirror so that you can really see what shadows are actually shaping and building. And now I'm actually going to go back to this brush and start to lift this eye up. So I'm going to avoid this area right here because if I go into this area too much, it could drag me down. I want it to drag me up, so I'm going to bring it a little bit down to connect to the lash so it at least connects to something. Blend it in a little bit because it might not want it to go all the way out, but then if you just lift that and pull it outwards at the side, as long as you're leaving some space here that's not totally dark, then you will get that like lift. And actually it does give me the opportunity to go back in with this one now, small little smudgy one I used on my lip just to sort of connect almost the lower lash line up here. This is, in my opinion, very much a makeup artist essential. You can see already that like elevation, that elevated eye from like a lifted perspective, not from like an expensive perspective. The word elevated in this industry now means multiple things. Now, I'm trying not to move my face because I want you to be able to see the difference of both sides. Very, very, very delicate amount of powder. I'm just popping some in there. Wow, this powder is strong. It could be that it's a slightly, it's a bit tricky, this color, because it looks like it could be a bit darker than Endless Cacao, but I actually think it's darker than that from a color perspective on the spectrum of depth. And then I'm going to go, I want to avoid all that white bit there, but I want to go into that area right here where it's starting to get shadowy and intensify that from the top of the ear down to the side of the mouth. So I'm kind of creating an invisible line from the top of the ear down toward the mouth, and I'm just shading into it. And I'm being so delicate because this is a very, very, very heavy powder where you need the tiniest little bit. Bringing it up a little bit, blending it into there. Up on my nose a little bit more. And then I'm going to go under my jaw. So I'm really looking at where the light is hitting my face and where the light is not hitting my face. And now you can see this side to this side and the difference. And then I'm actually going to take a little bit more on this brush and just bring this a little bit less high by connecting this line to the middle of my eyebrow, to the middle of my iris. I don't want it to be such a high pitch. That's better. Okay. A little bit more shadow in the mouth. I mean, this is crazy. Makeup is so wild. I do want to take a powder blush and add color to this. From a powder blush perspective, I'm going to use Nabla's Skin Glazing and Lola just to bring in a little bit of color, make it not look so beige. Just here. Up into there. I love using these on the lips. I'm going to do some on the lip. Oh, that was a lot. Okay. I'm not going to turn my head just yet because I know that my blend isn't going to be perfect, because my approach to this was so that you can see me from straight on and be able to see both sides of my face. I'm going to finish the look with a little bit of the Hyper Shine pigment from KJH brand with my fingertip, and I'm just going to go down the nose with very little pressure. The reason why I'm doing little pressure is because I only want the very top of my fingertip to touch my nose, not the whole pad of my fingertip. So by being really sort of stingy with your pressure, you'll get a skinnier application. Blend that in a little bit, do a little bit on the lip. It's always nice to have a little bit of something. And then just bringing a little bit onto the cheek and the front. I mean, this whole side of my face looks like I might have just had a small facelift. Now, I'm just going to buff everything out of this brush into a cloth. I always keep a makeup, a cloth on my desk just to get rid of pigment. So all that pigment would have gone more into the makeup. And now I just want to blend a little bit further with this. And just make sure everything is soft. That was not an orb, that was lint, for anybody that's on the orb train. I just literally buffed a cloth. I'm actually going to use this in my eye as well. Just using the pointed side in the eye and here. And now it's softer. I want to go back so the light isn't completely washing me out, but like you can see a crazy difference from this side of my face to this side of my face. I do have a little bit of this on this side of my face, but nowhere near as much. I love makeup, it's so fun. And again, this was just to show you before and after purposes, not really, I mean, there's education in here for sure, but you know, take what you will from it.